Ciao, welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Michela, and today I'm going to show you this drawing process of a sketchbook spread that I actually filmed in August, a few months back. So maybe because so much time has passed since I filmed this, I found watching the whole drawing process really interesting. I decided to leave a lot of the process, to cut less parts of it. I hope you'll find it interesting too, and you'll enjoy watching it. It's kind of a long video, at least right now. I don't know if I'll decide to cut some part, but I don't know. Let's see. I usually work with gouache and colored pencils, wax pastels. These three are probably like the three materials that I mostly use, or that I was used to working with. This summer I decided to use more soft pastels, as you can probably see now. And so when I first started learning how to draw, and when I first started taking drawing classes, I bought many, I mean, not a lot, but kind of many different soft pastels, and I used them for a brief period of time to draw, not using mixed media, but only using soft pastels. But then I completely, I don't know, not forgot about them, but almost. But what I was doing at the time was drawing on bigger pieces of paper, and so I wasn't using them to draw in my sketchbook. But what happened this summer was that I started sketching, doing more. I started sketching a lot more in my sketchbook, and I was using gouache, but I like to use gouache to fill bigger areas of the surface of the paper. But the thing with gouache, it's you need to wait for it to dry, and when you're working, when you're sketching quickly, you don't have time for that. So I found that soft pastels were like the how do you say that? Okay, I cannot think of the word in English, but neither in Italian, so it's what do you say when a substitute? Like, it was a substitute for gouache, even though, I mean, it's really different. Obviously, I mean, the textures that you can achieve are really different, but it was interesting to switch to soft pastels, to use them more. It's not like I don't use gouache anymore. I do. I just use both of them, and that creates a different thing. When you use gouache, you get a result. When you use soft pastels, it's something different. But when you use them together, it's interesting, because sometimes I use soft pastels when the gouache is still a bit wet, or I use gouache on top of an area where there is soft pastels. Even though it's not water soluble, it's really interesting to see what happens on the paper when I do that. And so that green soft pastels that I used for the leaves, this kind of leaves on the branches that you are seeing me draw, that's one of my favorite colors. Such a beautiful green. I don't remember the brand, honestly, because I'm using like a tiny piece, a really really tiny piece of that pastel, and the rest of it's stored in a box somewhere. But it's probably maybe Sennelier, or it's not Unison, and it's not Jackson. Yeah, but I don't remember exactly what kind of pastel it is. It might be another name that's really hard to pronounce, Schmincke or Sennelier. Yeah, one of these two, I think. I'm looking at the other pastels that I have right now. So, yeah, what was I saying? There's a mess on this desk. I can the first thing. So, yeah, it was interesting looking back at the process, watching how I was making decision, and I don't remember exactly how I decided on the palette. What I usually do, it's like before drawing, I choose what materials to use, what colors I want to use, and the thing is that there is a mess on this desk, and there are around the sketchbook, there are colors that I'm not using in this drawing, like those blues, light blue wax pastels, wax crayons, and I this happens usually when I am drawing a lot. I leave stuff around even when I'm not using it. So this one is actually the first drawing in the morning. It was the first drawing of the day. I know that because watching it back, I remember like I was saying something about the fact that it was the first drawing of the day, probably complaining about the fact that, I don't know, I was probably doing something silly, because, you know, if you draw without warming up, I mean, it is tricky. The first drawing in the morning, it's always tricky. It can be. So what I remember is I was really thinking about values, not only about colors. I wanted to, and I still want to, improve the use of colors, but also values, like to use values in a more thoughtful manner to have a better result. It's definitely it's not easy. That is what's happening probably with the bird and the background, the area out behind the bird, because I don't know, I chose to keep the bird very light and dark, and to use a dark background. I mean, I'm not saying that it's perfect in any way, but you know, to have better result, it's necessary to practice, and it's practice, so that's great. And even when you draw something that you don't necessarily, that you're not necessarily extremely proud of, I think it's important to recognize the parts that you like, that that you don't completely dislike. I mean, I really like this spread. There are many things that I like about it. Probably not the bird. I think, yeah, I probably like a lot of the things that I like about it are in the area surrounding the bird and everything that's happening around it, but probably not the bird itself. But I mean, it's fine. So yeah, as I was saying, I don't remember exactly how I chose the color palette, but I really like it. Just watching it, it makes me want to open my sketchbook and draw again. I haven't drawn today, so I'm really, yeah, I'm stopping myself right now from taking taking the sketchbook and drawing. And but I hope you're not stopping yourself from drawing. If you want to draw along with me, please do that. I'm so happy when you comment on my videos telling me that I inspired you to draw or to try something, to do something different, to try materials, or it really makes me happy, and it's the best thing. Also, someone in my latest video left a comment. By the way, the nicest, kindest comment section I've ever been, I've ever saw. And you were all so sweet. And someone asked me if I was planning on taking part in the Burb Fest drawing challenge in January. I was about to say next month, but January, it's in less than a week. It feels very far away, but it's not. And so with this video of the drawing process of this bird, this is me manifesting the time and energy to take part in the Bird Fest drawing challenge. I wish, I hope, I really hope, I want to, but okay. So what is the bird? Blah. So what is the Bird Fest challenge? It's a drawing challenge on Instagram, originally created by Birdie Tam and is hosted by April Monkey Mintaka. I hope I am pronouncing the names right. So it's a 31, right? How many days are, I mean, can you believe I make a calendar once a year, writing the dates by hand, and now I don't remember how many days there are in January. Yes, 31 days in January. Okay. And so there are 31 prompts, and basically each day you draw a different bird. And I mean, it sounds amazing. I've never took part in the challenge, but I love drawing birds, and I think this challenge is great because there are so many birds that I would probably I mean, of the 31 birds, I haven't read the whole list, but I imagine there will be so many birds that I know nothing about, and I will probably lose myself on Google, like looking up information about those birds, because it's when I draw something, I usually like to know more about the thing that I'm drawing. So I wouldn't just draw without knowing anything about that thing. And especially like with birds, like when you look up the name of the bird and see the pictures, I've just Googled the first one, the first, I think it's the first prompt, right? And I mean, I've never seen that bird before. I'm like, wow, I need to know more about that bird. So yeah, I would probably end up in 5 hours Google search on birds for each one of them. So I don't know, like, I don't know how people do drawing challenges that are so long. What I think I will do is I will aim to the short list. There is a list that is only 5 birds, and that's manageable. I think that's five birds in a month. I should be able to do that, right? Because it's not the drawing itself. It's not the drawing part that it's the hard, the difficult one, because I think it's not impossible to. It's fairly reasonable to draw one bird a day. The thing is that if you need to post them, share the drawing, maybe also the process, it's gonna take a lot of time. And I know that because I tried with other drawing challenges. I mean, you probably know about the October drawing challenges, because there are so many. And it's, I don't know, like last year, I mean, this year I didn't even it's not that I didn't even try. I tried in September, getting ready for it, and the first day of October, reality hit me, and I was like, oh yeah, no, that's not gonna happen, right? That's definitely not going to happen. And in September I sketched. I had thumbnails for almost each prompt, but yeah, I didn't do any. I couldn't draw any of them. But last year I actually managed to draw 9, like the first week, and then 2 other prompts. It was the 2023. It was Peachtober 2023, and I mean, it's so fun to take part in this challenges, but yeah, it is time consuming, like a lot of time, a lot, a lot. I think the only way it's to do some of the work before the month starts. So that means that I should probably be drawing birds right now, because yeah, it's gonna be late too soon. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I will try my best to find the time in this last December days to draw some birds and ideally post them in January to share them with you. And this is a pretty long video, I think. Probably the longest that I've ever posted here on YouTube. If you have any questions about the materials I'm using, let me know. I am thinking if there's something interesting I can tell you. Oh, one thing that you don't know about this drawing is that I was drawing using a timer. Well, two timers, which made it sounded like, watching it back, it felt stressful. I was like, how did I? It probably, like, if I left the original audio, it would probably be really stressful to watch because I was drawing and the timer went off, but it kept, the sound kept going, and I kept drawing without stopping it, like this multiple times. And I was using the timer, like, because it helps me help helps me. Oh my god. It helps me. So fun learning languages. So I was using a timer because it helps me not focusing too much on the details. Like, not focusing, but it helps me keep the spontaneity of a sketch. Because sometimes I found that it's easy to lose that sometimes when you worry too much about making the image look good. Using a timer, working quickly. There are some parts of the video where it almost looks like it's sped up, but it's not. It's real. It's the real time. It helps me keeping that spontaneous feeling. Yeah, I am sure you understood what I was trying to say. And I'm not sure if the voiceover, how long have I been talking? I think enough. So I hope you enjoy watching this process. Let me know if you're taking part in the Burb Fest challenge or any challenge next month, and let me know if you have any secrets, any tips to successfully take part in a drawing challenge. I don't have any. I don't know how you do that. Maybe one day I will make my own. I'm starting to think that one way would be to make my own drawing challenge, to come up with prompts, and I think it would be fun to make one. If I find an interesting theme, I might do one. But I also think I would need to choose a month where there is enough time, when, I don't know, maybe from my point of view, I find that October is usually a busy month. So I found it really hard to also take part in the challenge. But I don't know. I mean, a lot of people do that, so there's gotta be a way, right? Maybe I'll find one. I'll find a way. So yeah, I'll see you soon, and thank you for watching the video. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel. It would make me really happy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hey there, it's me again. I'm editing this video, and once again the voiceover, it's not long enough, but it's okay, because at the end of the process video there was a little bit of talking. Right when I finished the drawing, I was talking about something I liked about the drawing, so I'm going to leave that piece of audio. Also, Happy New Year if you're watching this if you're watching this right when I posted it. Yeah, it's not December anymore, and the good news is that I actually started sketching the first bird of the Burb Fest challenge. I am late, but it's fine. I cannot wait to show you the bird that I was drawing and the birds that I definitely will draw this month. And yeah, and I can't wait to see your birds if you're taking part in the challenge. Let me know which one was your favorite. I've seen some of the pictures of the other birds in the list, not the short list, but the longer one, and they are so beautiful and cute that I'm actually thinking I might try to draw more than just the 5 birds in the short list. But this is my usual optimism that's that's talking, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. I hope you are enjoying this first days of the year, and thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. Enjoy the rest of the video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Questo mi piace molto, è uscito fuori la matita, like the pencil, no, non so come dirlo in inglese, credo. The pencil scratched away the paint, and underneath the paint, the gouache. Underneath gouache there was wax, like 2 or 3 layers of wax pastels. So I like that. I like the marks, like the textures that happen when oh no when I use gouache on top of wax pastels. Okay. Direi che ci siamo. Adesso andiamo a mettere un po' di fixative. Io credo che sia il caso.